Hello, my name is Estela and I'm going to present my administrative audit review. So let's start. I am going to explain the administrative audit review about the company's Bimbo. The purpose of the review is to apply the appropriate analytical techniques to achieve the proposed goals with the timeline, breadth, and depth required by universe on the review and the specific circumstance of the work in order to bring together the optimal decision elements. The exam provides a classification and interpretation of facts, diagnosis of problems, as well as the elements to evaluate and rationalize the effects of a change. In this case, for the production of shelf bread, 5 processes are needed. First of all, mix sponge, dough mixing, divide a pattern, baking and cooling, and finally packed. In this case, a control is carried out on the periodic conditions and the characteristics of the product in process until completion. The examination procedures consist of the following steps. Know the fact that is analyzed, know the components of the production process. In order to carry out an examination and evaluation of both individual and collective quality of the people responsible for the administration of operation, to know if the quality of the work is in accordance with establishing standards and the plans and objectives are met and the resources are used efficiently. Describe the fact. First of all, the production process begins with the capture of the production orders that contain the title of the product and the quantity of these that must be manufactured. This guarantees that it is required is produced since it is a perishable product and cannot be stored for a long time. This guarantee is freshness. And the second step, mixing of those all the ingredients are guided by hoses to the kneading machine where they are mixed for 6 minutes with constant movements in the shape of 8 so the dough is homogeneous in its entirety. The third step, divide and modeling. The cutter is responsible. This is the machine for cutting the dough into pieces of approximately 600 grams, which continue on the same pan until the molding section. At the molding station, each piece of bread is given a cylindrical shape and these fall onto molding trays that each contain 12 molds. The trays continue until the next station, a fermentation chamber, where the pieces go to the 42 centigrades, to which the yeast is exposed for an hour in constant circular movements, grew 3 times their original size. At the end of this process, a robot covers the molds in groups of 12 to go to the baking station. And baking takes approximately 20 minutes at temperature 220. Once finished, the baking dish are removed by means of a magnetic strip and suction cups extract the bread from the molds to be slid to the bread tower with a capacity of approximately 1,500 loaves where they rotate at room temperature to cool down for 90 minutes. Finally, once cooled, the bread is transferred to the cutting lines where some closers are responsible for cutting it into 20 slices of the same thickness to proceed to pack it in bags designed to preserve the freshness and texture of the bread. Next, the bread is arranged manually. It is the only process that is carried out manually in baskets for its distribution. And the second process is this composite to perceive all its aspects and details. If one of the lines were to have at the time during the week for just an hour, it will have a loss of 10,000 pesos. That is a higher quantity. Let me. In step 1 of the production process, there is a lot of raw material that is received into the demand for it, so there is overproduction in the company, leading to significant long-term losses. In the fourth step, they don't have a specific schedule to maintain the machines. In the fifth step, the product has been wasted because it is thrown on the floor in the production process. With the survey supply, we identify that employees don't know the story of the organization. They only have notion of the organization chart of the company. And the frontline employees don't feel confident to spread their concerns, but they qualify the dealings with managers are respectful. So review it critically to understand each element. The lack of fitment causes the situation that the product is thrown on the floor in the last manufacturing process, which is carried out manually. The times that are identified are because of lack of maintenance in the machines and the lack of mold explained above. There is a turnover personnel due to the lack of personnel. This is due to the lack of work motivation, resulting in excessive workloads and work stress in current employees. Delay sanctions have an impact on production. Training in the induction process is deficient. Order each item according to the classification criteria, making comparison and looking for analogies. The most outstanding elements are the lack of fundamental administrative instruments, the absence of a business vision, and the predominance of purely operation activities and the lack of motivation in the company. Define the relation that operates between each element. The company works empirically on a basis of informal and to a certain extent diffuse communication. In the production, they predominate relationship of companionship and respect. The supervision is more formal, and the performance of the worker is not evaluated periodically. Identify and explain their behavior. The lack of trace causes the bread to be thrown to the floor in the last manufacturing process. So it recommends to coordinate the exit of molds for cleaning 2 days in advance, and the employees can use them when they are needed. The high turnover personnel due to prevailing conditions, which are excessive workloads carried out by workers. This happens because they don't have a good description of position and they desmotivate the employee. There is no well-organized inventory control in production or a period of time in maintenance of machinery because employees focus more on the design of strategies. The path of this activity focus on scheduling the maintenance and calibration of the equipment and instruments used in the process. There is no internal communication between the logistics and distribution areas. And the production doesn't go according to the demand. We recommend to have an inventory ERP in the company that will facilitate the decision-making and internal communication between the areas. It will facilitate the work of the collaborators and then they can focus on the design of strategies or as customer service. Provide procedures manual, quality manual, policy manuals to facilitate the tasks of the personnel since they don't know correctly the procedures and policies that are carried out within the company. And in addition to knowing through them, their obligation and rights are thus avoiding duplication of activities. We have to answer these 7 questions in order to adopt an attitude interrogative and to improve the ways the way things are visualized and generate alternative for their attention. First of all, what work is done? The company's Bimbo focus on focus on manufacturing industry and that focus on the production, marketing, and sale of bread. The second question, what is it done? The purpose is the production of the chopped bread because it's for mass consumption and requires enormous volumes of production. How is it done? Who does it? And the personnel who intervene, operators, managers, and supervisors. For how is it done? They use methods and techniques that are in accordance with the specification of the product, ensuring that it reaches to the consumer fresh. And 5, what it is done with. We use inherent machine, oven, and cutter machine. When it is done, the entire process takes 4 to 6 hours approximately. Why is it done? The product is manufactured frequently because it is the one that brings the most profit to the company. I think it's all, and thank you for watching this video. I hope you like it.